What up, dudes? It's Gaz, and welcome back to the Warframe video. So, I've got the dev stream overview for January of 2022 for you today. But before we get into it, I did put some soundproof foam up in my recording room. So let me know if the audio quality is better or worse than the previous video, because I still can put some more stuff and change some things around. But I want to see what you guys think of it, because that's important to know what you guys think about the audio quality. So we're going to go over all the important stuff from the dev stream today. Basically going over two different updates. One that will be in February, on February 9th, and one that will probably be in March or April, to be honest. The February update will be a smaller one, and the March or April one will be much, much bigger. Basically the stuff that was not in the new war that probably should have been there, that's going to be the update, the March or April one. Alright, so make sure you check out the live stream channel and all that stuff. Let's get into it, and we'll get some delicious Grendel gameplay for you on the screen so you can witness the chunk. And I do actually die in this mission, so that's pretty embarrassing. Alright, so let's start from the very top. So the February 9th update I was telling you about, we've got the Echoes of War. Very creative name there. February 9th on all platforms. What you're going to be getting in this update, you're going to be getting the new war being replayable. Oh boy. We're going to be getting some Lich and Sister quality of life improvements. So basically what it's going to do is a really annoying situation where you go on Cassini or whatever it is, Hydra, to get your larvaling to spawn in the first place, and you do the whole process, and it's it's a Kuva Karak. Well, I don't want the Kuva Karak right now. We're gonna move away from that larvaling and try to do it again. It's been a lot of rinse and repeat. They're gonna be trying to make that not as annoying anymore. So let's say you do this situation, you try to get the Kuva Karak, or you don't want the Kuva Karak, and you pass it up. You try to do the mission again. This system is apparently going to make it where the Kuva Karak will not appear again until you've slain a Lich. That's what it seems like. We don't have too many details on it. I'm going to tell you right now, I have a lot of people who have been feeding me information from the public test cluster, because there's currently a test cluster going on that I was not invited to because I'm just too useful, I guess. And the thing is, it's still not working on the test cluster, apparently. So we'll have to see. It technically should save you some time if it actually does work. As someone that's I think it took me an hour or two to get a Kuva Tonkor this one time, just to change the element around. It took me 2 hours. This will potentially save you a lot of headache if this actually is implemented properly. So a nice little quality of life change, but nothing that people are going to be screaming to come back to the game for anytime soon. The next thing we've got in the Echoes of War update on February 9th is we're going to talk a lot about this one. It's going to be 4 new Augment Mods, and the homies on the test cluster actually have been hooking me up with how all these mods work. So we're going to go deep in depth on how all these mods work, what they scale off of, yada, yada, yada. So let's start off with Gourmand, which is going to be for Grendel. So what this does is going to affect his first ability, Feast, basically the ability you push to eat all the enemies. What Gourmand is going to do is, instead of making it drain energy, it will make it drain health. Think of Despoil from Necros. So people basically complain a lot of the time that Grendel has energy issues, and he does have energy issues. This is going to make it where you're going to drain your health instead of your energy, but as far as we can tell, it's really, really bad, unfortunately. You drain health per second, you consume 200 health on cast, and it does not work with Arcane Grace, it doesn't work with Arcane Avenger, it doesn't work with Arcane, or whatever that mod's called, Hunter Adrenaline and Rage. It's just a bad augment. It's definitely not worth a mod slot. I was looking at my Umbra Grendel build earlier, and yeah, Grendel has energy issues, but I ain't wasting a mod slot on this. This mod just needs a rework or a revisit already, because it's not worth it. It is affected by efficiency, so that's pretty good. But yeah, this is not worth a mod slot at all. Gourmand for Grendel. Gonna pass on that one. Moving on to Biting Frost. And you might read this and be like, whoa, Frost's about to be awesome. That's what I thought when I first saw it. Frost gains 200% crit chance and 200% crit damage against frozen enemies. That sounds awesome, doesn't it? Well, then you realize what frozen enemies actually means in this game. Because cold procs from Weapons Mod for Cold, those do not freeze enemies. An enemy with 10 cold procs is not frozen, they're just slowed. So this only works on Frost's 4th ability, 3rd ability, and 1st ability. I don't know if his 2nd ability freezes, but basically they have to be affected by one of Frost's abilities to be getting him this increased crit chance and crit damage. This crit damage and crit chance is not affected by power strength. It's multiplicative, and it seems just kind of a bad... it seems like it would be good, but the problem is the enemies that actually matter for this increased damage against, like Demolus and high priority targets, they cannot be frozen by Frost's fourth ability, or his one for that matter. So this will only work on trash ads, which, you know, if you have enough power strength on Frost already, they're going to be fully armor stripped anyway from his 4. So this is a pretty bad augment. I wish it scaled with strength, or what they should honestly do is, and this would be like a mini Frost rework, they should make cold damage freeze enemies on 10 cold procs. If it doesn't freeze Demolist, sure. Maybe Frost is not allowed to be good against Demolist or whatever. But this, I thought this would be really good, but the fact that it's just not affected by mods, and it's very, very niche in its use cases because it has to be affected by one of Frost's frozen abilities, it's unfortunate. Not to mention that this is not an a augment for an ability, it's an augment for Frost himself. I guess it's passive or whatever. So nothing like Helmet Subsume or anything like that's going to be usable in other frames. So that's unfortunate. Moving on to a somewhat decent one. Unfortunately, these augments aren't the best, but we have Thermal Transfer from Gauss. Now, this one is definitely the best out of all 4 of these ones for a multitude of reasons. First off, let's just read what it says. Thermal Sunder Augment. Allies in range gain 75% bonus elemental damage for 30 seconds. So if you don't know what Thermal Sunder is, it's Gauss's ability where he shoots the fire wave out, shoots the cold wave out, whatever you pick and decide. While you are in that fire ring or that ice ring, you have infinite duration on this increased damage, which is affected by power, strength, and duration. And it's going to basically work like a heat mod. So let's say I have a weapon with base cold damage, no other mods on it. If I was standing in the fire ring with Gauss's ability, the ice and the fire would combine into blast damage. So it's basically just like throwing an extra mod in your build. It will make your heat damage higher. It will make combined elements become a combined element and all that stuff. So, and if you leave the fire ring, that's when the duration comes into effect. So, standing in the ring, infinite duration, moving out of the ring, the modded duration. So, it's affected by power strength. This is definitely the best of all of them because heat damage is pretty good, and it can just give you more heat. So, that's pretty good for Gauss. Remember, that is his Helmet ability as well. So, if you're putting Thermal Sunder on other frames, this will buff your teammates. That's one of the things that Gauss couldn't do. He has like crazy weapon buffing, but he doesn't buff his teammates at all. It's a very selfish frame. So that's decent. I don't know if I'm going to still use a slot on my Gauss build for it. I guess Gauss doesn't really need many stats anyway, so sure, I'll probably run this one. As far as Helmet, other frames, probably not going to really go for it. I usually use Thermal Sunder for a nuking ability, not like let's just wait in the fire ring and get buffed damage, because it only works on weapons, not on abilities. That has been tested as well. When we get the final one for Trash Bag herself, we got Surging Blades. Aqua Blades Augment. The blades gain 8% extra damage per enemy hit. Press 3 once to launch a blade at your foes. Honestly, doesn't sound too bad. It's not affected by power strength. It's not affected by nearly anything. Range. Aqua Blades is not a great ability. It's also her Helmet ability. So, you know, if you put Aqua Blades on somebody else, I guess you could use this. Now, the fact that it's not affected by power strength is unfortunate because it's just an inconvenient ability to use in the first place. It's got a set range and all that. So, yeah, it's not going to make you really good. It might be good on Ash if you subsume Aqua Blades on Ash. Maybe it could be okay because he has his built-in extra slash damage passive. But realistically, just put Roar on Ash. You don't need Aqua Blades on Ash. The fact it can launch a Aqua Blade at an enemy is kind of goofy. Did I not realize we have guns? So, yeah, unfortunately, these augments are all not phenomenal. I'd say the Thermal Sunder one's okay. But, yeah, this is what you have to look forward to in February. Basically, guys, if you haven't pre-ordered Elden Ring or want to play something else in February, you might want to do that. So, we went over the 4 augments, the most exciting part of this update in February. We'll go over the big update after this. Tenno-Gen, round 2 or whatever. Here's a couple of the Tenno-Gen skins. We got a Wisp one, a Harrow skin, and a Titania skin. They all look pretty cool. It's just Tenno-Gen, though, so... We've also got the Hildren Deluxe skin, which is decent. And we've got Star Days returning. So if you were playing bingo with my bingo card, Star Days did get announced. We did not get bingo, unfortunately. There was no mention of a status rework, so we almost had bingo. Just like 1 or 2 off, unfortunately. But yeah, Star Days is going to have basically nothing new, a couple new glyphs, and they're going to still put the Eros Wing Ephemera in there, even though that's currently a Nightwave reward for like level 3, so yikes. Star Days is not my favorite. They did talk about Tenno Bomb a little bit too. It's just going to be a small little thing, not as big as last year, so... All right, now that we've gotten past the tiny update that I'm not super jazzed about, we got the good update, as I've called it, and it's going to be called the Angels of the Zeramon. Basically, this is the content that probably should have been in the New War update that wasn't in the update. So what we got to look forward to here, we've got 2 new game modes. Not sure what that, we did not get any details. I'm hoping for 2 new endless game modes, or like 1 new endless game mode and another new game mode. So that's going to be also giving us potentially 2 new planets, Sanctuary and Zeramon. So I'm not sure if both of them are coming out the same update. That would be kind of crazy. They had 2 new planets in one update. There's also a new Grendel skin right there. I don't know. I think they might put the second planet in some other update, but expect 2 new game modes. Hopefully, like a really good one like Disruption. I have a feeling this Zeramon Angel update will be one of the best updates in a long time, like multiple years. We're talking here. So this is the kind of update I love to see when we're getting new game modes, like interesting new tile sets. So very, very good. Expect this update in either like March or April, I'd say. It said they'd give us extensive details on the February dev stream, which will probably be near the end of the month, to be honest. We already went over the new planets. There's also going to be an Eximus rework in this big update, the March or April one, which is something I'd say is very, very good, because if you are a long-term player of the game, Energy Leech Eximus Aura, they're going to be making that so you can actually see where that is, and they're going to potentially make the Eximus units more powerful and more tanky, like actual mini-bosses. If you see in this gameplay footage in the background, I can't even tell what an Eximus is. I'm just killing them indiscriminately. They're just dead. That guy's dead. He might have been an Eximus, whatever. He's going to die anyway to the slash proc. So I'm expecting, like, when an Eximus spawns, you're going to actually notice it after this update. So the big thing here is making it so we can tell when an Eximus aura is going off, potentially increasing the threat and increasing the reward from killing an Eximus unit. So just all good stuff there. Potentially making the game a little bit more challenging, making the enemies like more distinct from each other, because I'm just mindlessly mowing them down, honestly. They might as well just all be Eximus as far as I'm concerned. So that's really good. And then one of the last things we got to talk about is this amazing, awesome looking Zaku skin, which probably won't even come out until next year. But man, this is probably my favorite deluxe skin I've ever seen, because one of my main complaints with Zaku is that I want to be in Zaku's 4 all the time, because that gives you the evasion and makes your ability timers pause. But I thought Zaku's skeleton form looked stupid. So they have done the opposite here. I actually think the base form looks stupid and the skeleton form looks great. So I will take that trade-off. Just really, really awesome. I wish this was like, I wish they could skip the Hildren skin and a couple other skins. Maybe don't skip the Valkyr skin if you've seen that one. Maybe skip the Baruch skin. I know people like Baruch anyway, but Baruch Prime will probably be here next year, or later in the year anyway, guys. That Zaku skin's sick. So overall, it was kind of a roller coaster of dev stream. Guys, February is going to be a little bit rough in Warframe, to be honest. I'm not sure if that's all we're going to be having to do in February. Like I said, maybe you should find some other game to play for a month or two. That Angel of Zeramon update is going to be awesome, so I'm really excited for that. Hopefully the new game modes are very fun and well thought out, because they've had plenty of time to make them at this point. And yeah, hopefully you guys found the video helpful. Let me know how you feel about the dev stream down below. I'm going to have a video going over Frost extensively tomorrow, so we'll talk about Frost tomorrow. And we're going to talk about Yoreli probably the day after that, so look forward to that. Also, let me know how you guys felt about the audio quality. I put up like half the soundproof foam in this room, but I've still got like another half to put up. But I thought it sounded okay, so I wanted to try it out. So I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for the support. Take it easy. Peace.